IfSunSets. The name of this game has no help been someone's during which, or maybe the dev team's marketing guy is a former HR employee, because it seems like it is the product of a particularly sentient rodent in human goods. That said, the game itself is great, if a little rough at times. The UI before loading into the world gives incorrect info about the difficulty selected for single player. Setting up co-op mode is also unclear. Getting into the game, however, you encounter a very well made tutorial and good pacing. You can tell a lot of care went into the player experience interacting with their first moments in the game world. And the little beach you start on is perfectly set up for a new player or two to learn what they are doing without being a crutch that will carry them to the end game. The game greatly rewards exploration more than I have been any open world survival title do in a long time. Every time you find a niche little place or unique scenic vista, you typically find a treasure chest, rare materials, lore drop, etc. By day, you are busy securing resources on this mysterious island, and by night you are bracing yourself against relentless, terrifying monsters that track you down, bringing a gently tense and thrilling experience. Building a base with generated resources adds a satisfying strategic elements to gameplay. It's worth noting that IfSunSets is currently in early access, which means there are some bugs and crashes here and there. In option, these issues don't justify the negative comments I have seen. The developers have been incredibly responsive, acknowledge the feedback and actively working on fixes. They are clearly passionate about making IfSunSets the best it can be, and I'm excited to see how the game evolves with each update. Melee combat feels a little basic right now, with some weapons being a bit too stuff as if they are missing animations and they are opted for visual constantly over player freedom on that front. Hopefully, we see this system flesh out it a bit in the future. I think that bones of a good combat system are already there through as there are light steals and critical mechanics, blocking and parry, and the fairy adds an amusing twist with this selection of spells. Side tone. Taking the fairy Bilfam bomb spells is a must not only because it is a surprisingly hard retreating grenade, but also because the animation is so fantastic. To make the game more enjoyable, I recommend turning down thirsty and hunger as much as possible. Honestly, those mechanics don't end meaningfully survival gameplay, they feel like chores. The game would benefit from focusing more on its RPG aspects instead. The graphics feel detailed despite being built on Unreal Engine 5.3 and there are still performance issues. While nothing game-breaking, turning off soft slog combats significantly. On the technical side, there are some notable problems. The overuse of get-all actors of class impacts performance, and the heavy reliance on traces for visual system causes noticeable slowdowns. Additionally, the garbage collection locks the game for 5-10 seconds previewly, which seems to result from repeatedly creating and destroying objects during gameplay tricks, a bad practice. I'm confident the team will address these issues over time, but I am surprised that they laughed in early access with them. Shifting away from blueprints, especially 3 heavy blueprints, and adopting more memory effective practices would help significantly. Closing throughs, this is the kind of game you usually expect to have an interesting premise, totally marred by incredible junk but the truth is actually very little junk here. There is a true early access title with a great feature ahead of it. I do think the name of a terrible mistake through. I feel like a lot of people who are fans of fantasy and pirate themed games are going to see the technical name and skip it because it ruins the theme. Overall, I enjoyed it, but I am capable of dealing with the EA clunkiness and bugs. I still think that you easily sink in a good amount of hours if you are not looking for the second coming of survival crafting games. Added in relation to these reviews comments. They don't work on the game a lot, so much so that I had issues that were really annoying the one day, and then 1, 2, 3 days after later they had no hotfix for some of them. I also asked if it is possible to get reduction on a very common pretty annoying camera shake effect, and they hotfixed the option in a day or two later. They are really active and really listening.